U.S. government accused of running Google Maps investigation to influence public opinion. This is a blog article about how the U.S. government is making the use of Google Maps potentially illegal based on their lack of privacy-friendly policies and using public opinion to sway public opinion in order to become more socially responsible and border their trade with secretive deals that they cannot be held accountable for. What I propose is to give the U.S. government a couple limitations and one area they would expose themselves to challenge, thus setting up a precedent in order to force transparency into all branches of the U.S. government before making laws based on this new right to privacy. 8. The disclosure of any sensitive information that may relate directly to genocide, war crimes or crimes against humanity be required and monitored by Congress under their oversight powers within 30 days. B. The weekly report detailing the types of information the U.S. government accused of running. The U.S. government is accused of orchestrating the investigation into how Google uploaded satellite imagery from NASA. The expansion would allow them to prevent crimes by watching vehicles and individual homes around the country in real time. Their intentions are drawn into question when they threatened to revoke Google's license without proof that they were at fault. This led to the public and Google challenging this in court. Google Maps investigation to influence public opinion. Many feel that the U.S. government is manipulating Google Maps to skew public opinion of foreign countries. People like Milo Yiannopoulos has called for a boycott of travel to Saudi Arabia on this basis and have also purchased blank maps from an unnamed source in order to print his own maps. The altered maps show Saudi Arabian cities without buildings so that people are presented with a view untouched by American influence. Although the premise is pretty ludicrous, I have no doubt that this very ill-conceived act will have real lives suffering in order to satisfy ignorant Americans' prejudice. The map of Saudi Arabia does not show any embassy data and all roads are so misdrawn linking nowhere to somewhere which can even stimulate danger. If the U.SCIA wants us, yes, you and me, an innocent citizen, dead, we all stand a chance. This is jihad propaganda logic. Iranian. How the car industry could be affected by a Google Map investigation. Public opinion is sensitive and can be influenced by tragic events. If the U.S. government is running a Google Maps investigation to affect public opinion, this would give them the advantage of controlling feedback to generate political outcomes favorable for the business. How the CIA is teaching dogs to lie. Prison dogs are an easy scapegoat in difficult times, as we saw during World War I. When the British released hundreds of prison dogs due to food shortages, prisoners attempted to shake off dogs by throwing darts at their innocent eyes. This time the story had nothing to do with prisoners resisting dehumanization or whatever it was they wanted because the government won't give up its snooping. It's just a cautionary tale about why would the government do this. This could have serious repercussions for the American people as Google does not just work for the government. Many people rely on this app to help them find restaurants, doctors, stores, and commute to their jobs. It is possible that if people begin to perceive this app as unfairly biased, they will begin to use other navigation apps. This is a problem for Google as people could move to Apple or even Windows-based devices and make it harder for Google to market their products. Even with this, Google made the requests in order not only to find out if this app was unfair but also perhaps get into the minds of Facebook and what they might do behind closed doors. Anyway, you look at this, it costed $200 million in required staff training and modification, which is a lot of money when you consider the conclusion. And early on the morning of January 29, Google's top lawyer, David Drummond, published a blog post in which he claimed that he and his team had discovered the source of seek-style ads that had been appearing before pay listings on maps. David wrote, "We made a few changes to some aspects of our system that have led us to believe this is the result of an isolated incident on a fairly limited number of websites displaying organic results. We continue to investigate this further." Also, it was reported that Google didn't immediately take action after finding out that its search results were being manipulated, as Mops has been alleging for many months now. Google's lame attempt at a refund. Yesterday, what does come across as another indication of Google